tell of two different halves. First, let's start with the first and go through it. What was clicking early? Offense finding a groove, as was the defensive side of the ball. What'd you like in that first half?
We did with our roles. We went out there and executed our roles. The defense went out there and got stops. The offense went out there and scored touchdowns. We were able to get three. We were able to execute our game plan, at a high level. A big part of the game plan today for offense was protecting Matt. They did a great job of doing that. Another big part was using the cadence. Matt did a nice job using the cadence to protect himself. And another big part of it for all of those guys was to be able to keep the chains moving and get those guys going and score points. So, we were able to execute those things in the first half. Defense wanted to play a bunch of tight, sticky man coverage. We were able to do that in the first half. And those guys did a really good job of step up in the first half, and then we were not able to maintain it throughout the second.
Yeah, and that opening drive of the third quarter, Coach, they had more yards in that one drive than they did the entire first half. What was Brady and the offense able to do starting with that opening drive in the third quarter?
The one particular throw that I can think of is Mike Williams down the middle of the field. It was an absolute laser beam. He threw us a couple good balls in that drive. He had to get his team going. He got them on the board, and he got those guys rolling. So that was part of the problem. We got to answer, and we did. But we got to continue to answer. When those guys are getting hot, we got to get hotter.
Antonio Brown gives them the lead on the long touchdown pass. What coverage was that allowed basically Antonio Brown? You got a feel for a guy like Tyler Hall, an undrafted, rookie going against obviously one of the best ever played the game in AB.
We were in man-to-man coverage. They got into a stack. We had a bad signal in the bad communication, and then Tyler got beaten on a long play. Got put up a bad matchup and got beaten in play. That's on us.
Bucs made adjustments in that second half, Coach, to put on that offensive, output 31. What did they do differently?
They got the ball to 13. He did a nice job of using his body. He did a nice job on third down. He's a big man. He's allowed to push off, and he made some plays based on our man coverages. He got us down the field. He got a nice call along the sideline on us, and he made a couple of different plays that made it really hard to deal with number 13. He really got going.
Your blitz packages in the first half real strong, giving Matt time to throw, but it seems like they were able to get to him, sack him multiple times in that second half. What was your blitz package look different in that second half, third, fourth quarter that allowed them to be successful?
In the second half, they did a nice job of staying third down and manageables. We didn't get to many third downs in the second half, and the ones we did a nice job of protecting them and picking them up. And, Tom came out, used a couple can systems. He got a couple screens off, got a couple nice throws in some of his run plays, what we call run alerts. He was able to get some of those things kicked out to nice, easy receivers to pick up big yardage in order to keep those guys in manageable down and distances, and he did a nice job in the second half of that.
We mentioned the adjustments they made. You guys obviously making adjustments in the second half, Coach, but didn't go your way. What were you trying to do differently in the second half, or was there anything, considering the success you had in the first two quarters?
You want to give him a couple different looks. Tom's going to make adjustments in the first half and see what you're doing. I know. So when we came out, we had a couple flat calls. We went away from some of the things we were doing early and try to get some of those flat calls, try to get back to those things when they started helping us. But, Tom's, you got to have two different game plans versus a quarterback like this. You got to have the ability to be able to change and be able to be transparent for yourself. And you got to go out there and get stops. And just flat out at some point, you got to just make plays, and we didn't make it.
356 in the air for Matt, Coach, just 37 total rushing yards. Why such a discrepancy in the balance that I know you prefer?
When you came into this game, you knew it would be tough sledge running the ball, and we knew it would be an issue. You didn't know how much of an issue till you actually get in the game, and these guys can absolutely stop the run. We got our pass game going. We were looking for easy completions. We were looking for completions on time, and we got a bunch of them early. And we got a bunch of them when we needed some of them at the end, but we just needed a couple more in order to get those things rolling. And obviously, it's going to be some type of a discrepancy in the running the pass in this type of a game.
There was a crucial third down when Gurley was called in to block. I don't know if there was a miscommunication, but did you see him giving up that sack on that third down to Devin White?
It was more really of a good play by Devin White. Devin White was covering man-to-man coverage. Gurley went to chip and help out the tackle, and Devin White replaced with lightning speed and made a really good play in order to get to our quarterback. It was a nice play by the player, not so much on Todd.
The first half, Coach, you gave up 60 yards total offense to them. They ran for a total 356 or overall in that second half. What do you think the biggest was? It just Mike Evans, him heating up, and the Brady connection there between the two?
Mike Evans made a couple big plays down the stretch. Obviously Antonio had the big one that we saw at the end, but Mike Evans really got going. He really got his thing going. He really able to have a good connection with Tom. Whether it be third down or first and second, he got some things going. It was really good. Tom did a nice job with his eyes when we did play some zone coverage and moving us, and he was able to get some completions there as well.
And finally, it looked like from our vantage point, I know you were looking up at the Halo board, that last play, the ruling on the final spot. What was the explanation you were given on why it wasn't reversed?
Those calls all come down based on New York, and they don't have clear evidence, so to speak, that it's not a first down. Maybe we had a better camera view from our Halo board, than they had in New York. So it is what it is.
Did you agree with it?
Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter if I agree or not. They made the call. You deal with it. They take a knee. They win. We lost.
You guys were clicking early. I know it was on the to-do list to convert in the red zone. You guys did it 3 out of 4 times, including that opening drive. How about that start? Everything clicking for you to begin?
Yeah, it was the kind of start we wanted, sparked by a great play on third down by Todd Gurley. Good catch, way to break a tackle and keep the chains moving for us, and then we kind of got rolling from there. We wanted to come in and be aggressive to start. I thought we were, and I thought we played a nice first half, just didn't do a good enough job in the second half to get the job done.
Huge discrepancy, Matt, in passing yards and rushing yards. Was that what the defense was allowing, or would you prefer more of a balance?
We'd obviously, prefer to be much more balanced, and that wears on a defense when you are, but we weren't. And we got to look at the film and figure out how we can be better in that department. But ultimately, you got to find a way to do it, regardless of balance, no balance, or how things are shaking out. And we had chances, and we didn't make enough plays in the second half.
Tampa Bay is known, Matt, for bringing the heat, and they did especially in that second half. Did you notice a difference in the way they were applying pressure on you in that second half as opposed to the first 2 quarters?
I think it was similar stuff. I think that we just didn't execute as well as we needed to. We had a handful of chances there in the second half to make some plays, and we didn't do it. And I think have 1 or 2 go a little bit differently. Changes momentum. We had 2 3-and-outs in the third quarter, which were tough, and that kind of it let momentum build.
Yeah, Devin White had a big second half. What'd you see from him? Obviously, he was getting a little too close that you'd prefer, right?
He's a good player. There's no question about it. He's certainly coming into his own as a young player. He's athletic. He's fast. He's strong. Does a nice job in their package, and I thought he played well for them today.
You guys are always trying to adjust on the fly, Matt, make adjustments as they counter kind of a chess match. Anything you thought you could have done differently or tried to adjust that you just couldn't execute as an offense in general in that second half?
I thought we had some good chances. You missed on a couple. Needed to make a couple more plays, as a group. And but I thought the plan was good. I thought the adjustments were good. I just didn't think we executed as players well enough.
Did you get a look at that 4th down spot at the end of the game? And at least from our vantage point, I'm sure you saw on the Halo board, it didn't even look like it was close to a 4th down, or a conversion rather, on 4th down for a first down.
Yeah. I saw it. It's tough to tell, I guess, sometimes from different angles, but I don't know what else to say about it.
So you don't agree with the spot is what you're trying to tell me?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Did Jaden Graham forget to get you an early Christmas gift? He was the only one of the eligible receivers you did not find today. 11 guys you connected with.
Yeah, sorry, Jaden. I think he was in a couple of our progressions too. It just didn't find him today for whatever reason. But I do think it's a testament to the number of guys stepping up with people injured and different guys in there to have 11 guys touch the ball today. Credit to young guys, new guys, different guys stepping up and making plays.
Is that the key with Julio out? Everybody's obviously going to focus on him, but now you can kind of share the wealth a little bit and get everybody except one guy involved?
Yeah, I think, it's anytime who's out, you're not going to replace his production with one person. It's just there's only one Julio. And so, by committee, guys have to step up and make plays. And, for the most part, throughout the day, I think guys did a pretty good job.
You had shared a brief moment with Tom at the end. They're never out of a game when he's quarterback. What did you guys say to each other, and just what was it like once again squaring off against one of the game's best?
Well, he's a great player, has been a great player for a long time. Just telling him he played well, good game, and good luck next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
What's the morale of the team right now, Matt?
I think disappointed, for sure. Definitely have had chances to win ball games throughout the year and have fell short. We need to be better. But I also want to let guys know nobody else is going to feel sorry for us. We've got to go to Kansas City next week, play one of the best football teams in the league, and we better get our minds right and attitudes right to be, ready to go next weekend.
And I know you tell me you'd rather have the win, but another milestone, top 10 all-time in NFL touchdown list, passing Fran Tarkenton, career 3-4-3. What does that mean to you?
It's always disappointing when you do cool stuff like this in a loss, but I'm certainly proud of the accomplishments that I've had throughout my career. And anytime you're on a list with Fran Tarkenton, one of the best to ever do it, it's special. And I'm proud of that.